Hello and welcome to another video from the only source of information. I can't get my hand out of this thing. Hello and welcome to the only source of information you need to not only survive the current apocalypse but actually enjoy it. And yeah, this is an unplanned live stream. I'm in my bathrobe and oh, I haven't even got my hair done. Carlos, you're over there
Hey, you
brushing
look
your
beautiful.
hair and you didn't say anything to me?
Hey, you look beautiful.
Here's our guest speaker tonight. Say hello, Carlos.
Hello, Walt.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
I don't know if you've seen him before, but he was in a video here before because he came down and helped me clean my forest up at one time. But anyways, every day we talk about world events and we laugh because it's so silly and the stuff that's going on is so transparent and obviously fake and the whole world is going goofy and we're loving it. And there was something that he and I were talking about all week long, like what will happen on January the 10th. And so, you know what? Let me turn the speaker up so that way you can hear what Carlos has to say. Say something, Carlos.
What do you want me to tell them?
Okay, there you go. I think you can hear. I think people might could hear you. So, anyways, why is this not? There you go, Carlos. Why? What's the big day? Why in the world is January the 10th such a big day to us whack job, tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists?
Today is Jared Kirk's birthday. He's turning 40 years old.
Jared Kirshner. In case
you know in the Bible, 40 is a big number, right?
40 years, 40 days, 40 days and 40 nights. That's like a regular thing that comes up over and over again in the Bible. And from my own personal experience, when I turned 40, I started having really weird dreams, and I started doing things. My whole life changed when I turned 40, and I thought, well, you know what? If the Antichrist comes, he's obviously, or very likely to have a similar experience. And I suddenly started to get this feeling that the new president was only put in place to usher in the Antichrist. And it's like out of the blue, his son-in-law takes center stage. And I read up on him, and it's just his life history is too weird to not pay attention. And so his birthday is today. He's 40 years old. And I mentioned today that, you know, how weird things were over in Washington, D.C., and how it all seemed like a setup. Carlos, did you want to make any kind of comment about how you feel about what's going on at the Capitol this week?
Well, it's obviously, me being a former police officer, something's not right. Okay, and the main thing of it is you see in all these videos that's being put out of the police letting these people in that stormed the Capitol this week. Who were they? Who were these guys in this white van? We don't know. Why did the police let them in? We don't know. Were they Republicans, Democrats, Trump supporters, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, KKK? We don't know. The big thing for me is being a former police officer, this is not what police do when you have a million people outside your door and you have a very important political event going on like the election results this week that they were tallying the electoral college votes. So why would they let them in the building? It's obvious they let them in the building. People in the crowd seen the cops letting these people in the building. Who are they? We don't know.
Yeah,
they were let in.
Might just be what they call paid provocateurs.
Right.
Basically,
they might be CIA agents. You don't know who they are. We don't know what's going on, who organized this, who put all this together. Obviously, there was good, normal people outside, Trump supporters that were supporting Trump, that were being very peaceful and not trying to cause any problems. And yet you have two vans that show up, from what I've been told and seen in videos, and they were ushered right into the White House. Or not the White House, but the Capitol. So,
you know what really got me kind of concerned about this? You and I are goofies. We talk about this stuff all the time because we don't trust. For whatever reason, we're retarded or something. We don't trust politicians, and we don't trust the system. We don't trust civilization. We don't trust America. And so we're primed. We're always primed to jump on every conspiracy theory that comes along, but we never say anything about it because usually it's just goofy, fake stuff.
Well, usually what me and you are doing when we talk about this stuff is we're trying to debunk it. In a good example is this is, first time I ever heard about flat Earth, I'm like, what the heck is this? I'm sitting there thinking like, I've never heard this. Is this even possible? Then I asked a few friends, and obviously you went through the whole debunking flat Earth.
Well,
I think a lot of times
yeah,
when we listen to conspiracy theorists, we're trying to figure out, are they telling any truth? Is there anything in what they're saying out of all the nonsense that they're telling you? Is there anything real truth to anything? And what I've been finding out more than anything last year, yeah, there's a lot of truth. These guys are actually hitting on a lot of real things that are really happening.
Yeah, and I think things like flat Earth are just thrown in there so that they'll all jump on board and they'll get debunked and look stupid. Well, what it does, it makes everything they say look stupid instead of just saying that they're that the flat Earth teaching is stupid. It's all stupid, So we have all these things that are going on that are very obviously true and very real. And so they throw out things like these weird things that people will jump on to discredit them. But my friend Mike calls me tonight, and he said, have you heard of the 10 days of darkness? And I'm like, yeah, it sounds familiar. Is that from the Bible? And he said, no, it's not from the Bible. He said, what's today's date? I said, the 10th. And he goes, when is the president inaugurated? I said, I have no idea. And he says that there's going to be 10 days of darkness. So I get in touch with you tonight, and you say they're talking about shutting down the internet, shutting off phones, and just cutting all communication out until the president is inaugurated. Now, the guy that won the presidency, I always thought, Trump is basically an idiot. But when they chose to replace him with, what's the guy's name?
Mr. Biden.
Joe Biden. I thought, that's impossible. The guy can't even say a complete sentence. He is completely brain dead. Dementia, Alzheimer's, mental retardation, whatever is wrong with him, it's really obvious there's something wrong with him. And they're going to make this guy the replacement for the idiot that's in there now. That's insane. That makes no sense. Somebody told me that dude is like 85 years old. Does that sound right?
He's 78, I believe, somewhere in that area. Trump's actually like 4 years younger or 3 years younger than he is. I think Trump's 74, something like that.
I just had, you were like the star of the show for a long time because I forgot to flip my camera around. But I don't think if we get together like this, we can't see you because you're too bright. But then the next thing we hear is that they're already shutting the power off around the world, and I'm like, well, what does that mean? And you say, well, they're shutting that Pakistan's electricity's been shut off. And I'm like, by who? Who shut the electricity off? Well, the news is that their infrastructure for their electrical grid is so trashy that it just basically shut itself off. That may or may not be true. It may be some kind of a thing they're playing with over there in practice for shutting down everybody's electricity. Who knows? But in all honesty, we can't know anything. Here's the thing.
Yeah, that's it. You don't know what to believe, So before you jump to conclusions, like I was telling you earlier, I think the best thing to do is just sit back and watch. Try to learn everything you can from everything and everybody.
Yeah, well, see, with me, on a few days ago, when they were showing the White House or the Capitol building being breached, and it looked like it looked real, before we realized it was like some kind of actors or whatever. I thought, let me check and see if my EBT account is full again. Yep, there's some food money in there, and I ran to Walmart. I've been to Walmart and Sam's 3 times this week just to make sure that all my groceries are stocked up. because I don't know that we're going to have food shortages, but I like to be comfortable. I like to have, if I feel like eating French fries, I want to make sure I got French fries. If I want pizza, I want to make sure I have everything I need to make pizza. And but I just don't want to go to town if they start some kind of nonsense. They may start doing like roadblock checks, show us your papers kind of thing. And I just think it would be a good idea, especially like I live out in the sticks. My Walmart is, a mile from my house, and I don't know that we'll really be affected that much. But I do know that I don't want to go around a lot of people. People are getting goofy. I mean, these psychopaths that rule the world, it doesn't take much of it takes a phone call to get 1 million people to one location in an hour. And they'll do that. There's precedence for this stuff. So
they did it last week, right? 1 million showed up at the Capitol.
Did they? Was that 1 million? Did they say 1 million people?
Yeah, there was. At first they said it was 100,000. Next they said it was 1 million. If you look at the video from it, people paying into the crowds, there's 1 million people there easy.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
They say that woman that got shot in the Capitol building, they actually have footage of her they broke a window and were climbing from like one part of the Capitol building into another part where they weren't really supposed to go. And some cop or some, you don't even see the person, you see their hand and a gun. And they shot and the woman fell down. That woman drove she flew or whatever from California to Washington. That's about as far as you can, as you can travel and still be in the same country. Just to get her ass shot. What? I wouldn't go across the street to see the president give a speech, much less go all the way across the country to go in the Capitol building. And there wasn't even anybody in there, was there?
No, not really. I think they evacuated everybody by that time.
What a bizarre world we live in. And it is. Just, I'm going to ask you, Carlos, are you sad that America is collapsing?
No, I'm actually excited about it.
Yeah, I know. It's like we got 6,000 years, or we got 2,000 years since they murdered Jesus, and we're like, oh my God, they killed our Savior. How much longer? Because this is just Rome. United States is like developed from England. England developed from Rome. Rome developed from Greece. Greece from Phoenicia. Phoenicia from Assyria. Assyria from Egypt. There's a direct line of descent. All of these guys that rule the world, they all descended from that single empire, the original civilization created by Lord Satan 6,000 years ago. And it's got to go. It's every world government, all of the communists, all of the Protestants, all the Democrats, all the Republicans, all the Hindus, all the blacks, all the whites, all of the Muslims, every single goofy team that Lord Satan has established on earth has got to be done away with before God's children can be free. And so we really... me and Carlos in particular, but a lot of my subscribers that's all we talk about is how much longer can this go on? I mean, grown people shouldn't cry themselves to sleep every night. And I can promise you, I spend a lot of time crying. And a lot of my subscribers and that's got to end. My health is failing because of this. A lot of people's health is failing. We can't hold on much longer. We just want it to come on and make basically, what do you call it, a public service announcement?
Right.
Stay.
I just visited with a man this evening that has cancer. He's stage 4. He's actually recovering, and he goes, man, I don't want to die. He says, I feel like I got more life in me. And I said, there's something else left for me. And I looked at him and I said, yeah, you're going to see Jesus come, because it's coming soon.
Yeah, yet these people on this earth that obviously ain't going to live much longer. Years ago, I would say, well, you might not see the end, but somebody who's alive today will see the end of this system and the return of Christ. Now you can tell people that have terminal cancer that they are going to see the return of Christ, because that's just how close we are. There's a lot of things that go on. One thing in particular, like I said, it's Jared Kushner's birthday today. He turns 40. The Bible clearly states that the end cannot come until the man of lawlessness comes and is revealed. Well, yeah, I'm going to say goodbye. How about you, Carlos?
The only thing I was going to say is, it's kind of like a joke between me and Henry here, is that it's like a little kid in the backseat of a car going on a trip. And he always asks his dad, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" And this is what me and him do all the time with each other, is are we there yet? Well, hey folks, we're almost there. We're almost at the end of the road trip on the vacation. We're getting to our destination, and our destination is a new world order, led not the Antichrist, but by Jesus.
Yeah, well, it's one of the things that is brought out over and over again in the Bible. There's going to be a resurrection of the wicked and the righteous. Not just a certain group who belong to the Jesus team or the born again team or any of that stuff, but every human on this planet is going to be resurrected. And Paul brought out in I think in Corinthians, 1st or 2nd Corinthians, he said that there's going to be a first resurrection, a second resurrection. And there'll be a first death and a second death. That those who are like us, those who have common sense, are going to be needed to guide the rest of the world after they're brought back. And that some people will get a resurrection to everlasting life, and some to a resurrection of everlasting judgment. Those are the two different resurrections. And those of us who are right now staying out of this nonsense are the ones that are going to get to experience what real life is all about. So as always,
that's actually the message of the live stream tonight, was to stay out of it. Stay neutral, stay out of it, stay safe.
Amen. If you don't want to survive, don't listen to us.